Hey guys, today we are showing you how to make pesto egg casserole in a crock pot, all while having a whole lot of fun. Hey guys, welcome back to my camper kitchen. I am Cris from recipes.crock.com, and today we are going to show you how to make a yummy egg casserole for breakfast or brunch, or as we do so around here sometimes and call it brinner, where you eat breakfast for dinner kind of thing. Or brupper. I'm being corrected. It depends. I'm being corrected from the peanut gallery over there. So,
I love you.
Love you too, dear. So what we are going to do is we're going to show you how to make this yummy casserole. We like this casserole because it's a little bit different. It's a low carb breakfast that we very much enjoy, but it has a little bit of a different flavor than your typical sausage, cheese, and onion casserole, egg casserole, or your bacon, egg, and cheese casserole that you think of for a lot of breakfast casseroles. So we like it when we can find a little bit of a different twist, just so that we can kind of mix up the different kind of egg casseroles that we enjoy. Now, what originally inspired this recipe is our love for caprese salad, which is, you know, when you go to an Italian restaurant and you can get fresh mozzarella with basil and tomato, and you can eat that with a little bit of balsamic vinegar if you want. You could actually even drizzle balsamic vinegar on top of this at the end if you really, really wanted to. We just don't have it on hand, and I'm not going to go buy a whole bottle just to drizzle just a little bit. So, but that was the original inspiration. What I ended up doing is using some yummy pesto as the topping for this egg casserole, and it just took it to a whole nother level. And everybody here has been fighting over the leftovers and has been so into this recipe because of the pesto part of it. So the pesto kind of took over, but that's kind of how this was created. Not that that really matters to you, because you just want to eat something yummy, I'm sure. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with 10 eggs in a bowl, and we are going to use a fork or a whisk to beat those eggs so that they're all broken up. Oh, and I just realized I did not get a measuring cup. Hey, you, peanut gallery, can you give me a measuring cup? Thanks. Alright, so we have got 10 eggs that we have beaten up with a fork. And we're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper.
And I'm going to go get a measuring cup.
Salt. Just salt and pepper to taste. And to that, we're going to add a tablespoon of minced garlic while we're waiting for Mikey to find the measuring cup. He found it!
Mission accomplished.
Thank you. Alright, so we're going to add a cup and a fourth of heavy cream. Now, if you are a long-time reader, you might recognize this base recipe. So we use this base recipe of 10 eggs and a cup and a fourth of cream for a lot of our favorite egg casseroles. We just find it works really, really well together. So we've got that together. And to that, we're going to add a cup of shredded mozzarella. So we're going to be using both shredded and fresh mozzarella in this. So we're going to just add a cup. This makes our base egg casserole right here. Okay? Alright. So we're just mixing that up. In our slow cooker, we have a tablespoon of melted butter spread out to help this not stick and just kind of help the edges golden up a little bit. Okay? So all that is nice and mixed up, and we're just going to pour this in my sink of dishes to be washed. I'm going to use my fork very carefully to break up some of the mozzarella that kind of stuck together. Very carefully. Okay. Really like to stick together that time. Okay, so now we've got a cup of grape or cherry tomatoes that have been halved, and then I salted them before I put them in this measuring cup because I like for that tomato to have that salt directly applied to it. We just want to evenly sprinkle these all over the top of the casserole. Alright. Now that that is done, we have 8 ounces of fresh mozzarella. You can get this in the cheese section of your grocery store. Ours is already sliced. We're just going to go ahead and make this like little bite-sized chunks instead of leaving it in the slice like that. So I'm just going to go and run my knife through the sliced mozzarella a few times to give myself some bite-sized chunks. And then we're just going to spread these out as well. There's going to be, it's going to be a very cheesy, kind of like when you eat pizza that has fresh mozzarella on it. There'll be nice melty pieces of cheese or chewy, stringy mozzarella cheese in this casserole. Alrighty. So we have put that all in there, and then I've got what I'm calling a bunch of basil, which I've already washed, and I'm just going to take off the stems, so it's just the leaves. This is probably about maybe 10 leaves, 8-10 leaves, and the way I like to do this is I like to bunch it all together and then fold it in half into like this little bunch, so to speak. And then I take kitchen shears and I'm just going to cut it carefully in little pieces over the top of this. If you don't trust yourself to do that, you can also, which it looks like I'm getting big clumps, so I'm going to do it over here too. You can cut it over the cutting board like this and then sprinkle it out. This is just an easy way to chop it up. You can chop it up with a knife too if you would prefer. This is just kind of quick. It doesn't have to be perfect, and I'm going to fix where I've got clumps in there. Yeah. Okay, and we just sprinkle the basil all over the top so it can cook in. That just gives another layer of flavor. Of course, it's going to have a basil flavor with the pesto, but this just adds a little bit more within the casserole, so it's not just all in the topping. So we're going to put a lid on this. We're going to cook it on high for about 1.5 to 3 hours, depending on how hot your slow cooker cooks. It just needs to cook until the center is set. And when we get back, I will show you how we layer on the yummy pesto and serve up some brupper, as he says, in 3, 2, 1. And we are back. So my egg casserole in my Ninja takes about 1.5 hours. Like I said, if you are you okay, Al?
He had to shake it off. He was listening to Taylor Swift while ago.
Okay. If you are cooking in a more traditional slow cooker, it might take just a little bit longer. What you're looking for is for your center to set. Like when you jiggle the slow cooker, the middle doesn't jiggle. So as you can see, it's nice and pretty with the red tomatoes and the basil and then the golden yellow casserole. So what we are going to do is we're going to take about 6 ounces of pesto and use that as a topping for this yummy, cheesy, eggy casserole. And so okay. Yes, I know you're off. Just wanted to let us know. I have got just some simple basil pesto. This is a place for those of you who, if you are eating low carb, you really need to read your labels and look about how many servings are in a jar and look at how many net carbs there are, because they vary greatly depending on the different brands. This is the same brand of that marinara sauce we started using, Mezzetta, M-E-Z-Z-E-T-T-A. And so that's what we're going to use. And so regardless of whatever you're using, we want to shake it up a little bit because pesto, the oil a lot of times separates from the basil in the dish. So once we've got that shaken up, we're going to open this up. Like I said, this is a little over 6 ounces. It's 6.24 ounces. And I'm just going to drizzle this over the top and eventually spread it out. Let me get most of it out. And we're going to spread it out. And it is just going to be the topping of the casserole. Let's see if I can. You can use your own homemade pesto if you want to make your own too. That's alright. So let's go on in. Get this all spread out, and I'll show you here in just a sec what it looks like before I cut it. Alrighty. So now it looks a lot different, but the flavor is what we're going for. So it's got the nice green layer of pesto on the top. And now I'm going to slice this. We generally, when this is like the main portion of what we're going to eat, I generally make this into 8 slices. But if you were serving this on a buffet with other things, it definitely can be stretched a lot further because that makes a really hefty piece. I am going to use a butter knife to cut this, even though I really wish I wasn't with my coating. You're going to have to use your own judgment. I'm going to be very, very careful. Try not to go too far or scratch too hard on that non-stick surface in my Ninja. But what I generally do is I generally cut it in half long ways and in half horizontally, so then I can very easily make it into 8 even portions, because then I just have to cut each half in half. But those make for very big pieces. But if that, did you see the cheese, guys? That's yummy. But if that's what you're having as your main portion of your breakfast or lunch or whatever you're having, that makes a little bit more sense. So I'm going to pull this sucker out and show you, bring it up to you guys so you can see the yumminess. Okay, so you can see some of the basils right there. There's a tomato right there, and then definitely we have that mozzarella cheese. See that? Yummy, yummy, yummy. So let's get a little bit of everything here. Right now I just have mainly cheese. There we go. There's the egg. This is like an over-the-top omelet. Super flavorful. You've got the garlic, the basil, definitely the mozzarella cheese that just has that nice chewiness that you see on, you know, your favorite kind of really authentic pizzas. And then those cherry tomatoes, you got to be careful with them because they'll still burst a lot of heat out of them right out of the crock pot. But they bring a whole nother part of flavor to it. It just is a very, very yummy Italian inspired dish It's just got a lot of those favorite flavors that you can get in a lot of different kinds of dishes like that. It's just a way to have an egg casserole that tastes just a little bit different than what people maybe expect out of it. If you enjoyed this video, we'd love for you to give us a thumbs up. If you're not already a member of our Crock Posse, our slow cooking RV traveling family around here, we'd love for you to click subscribe down below, become a member of our family. If you would like notified every time we upload a video, we'd love for you to click the ding-a-ling, that notification bell down below, and that will send you a notification every time we upload a video. But whatever you do,
Speak loud! Laugh often!
my goodness, he's really chomping to go. I'm sorry, whatever you do,
Laugh often!
eat good food.
Speak live!
Bye.
Bye.
If you want to see the latest, click on the left right here. If you feel like subscribing, click on the right, my dear. And if you think we're funny enough to send us money, click the Patreon link.